Hello everybody, how's it going? My name is Hendrik here, and if you want to go ahead and skip to the what if and where that all begins for this prologue, I'll put a time somewhere up here with that notation or just with editing to add a number, and you can skip to that. Because I have things I need to say first that I really need to get off my chest before I go on. So, if you want to skip, go ahead. So what I've wanted to say is, before I get to that is, I've been struggling with whether or not I actually want to do this video. I've probably talked myself out of doing this like 3 to 4 different times. And 2 of those were just today, where I got home from work and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go do this video. But I was like, no, that's probably not the best idea. Just don't do it. But I was like, no. And that's why I'm doing this. I was gonna set up a camera, stand in front of my bookshelf, or not really a bookshelf, my shelf with all my stuff on it, and talk about this. But well, I didn't do this for 2 reasons. One, so that way I can go ahead and get this out. The video is out. I'm making it. There's no stopping now. And 2, because I need some time. So the reason I've been really not wanting to do, I've been wanting to do this and why I'm not wanting to do this is because for a very long time now, Masako X, the guy that voices Goku and other guy, people in Team 4 Star, and it was, I believe he was voicing Naruto, or was he voicing Sasuke? I think he was voicing Sasuke. Yeah, he was voicing Sasuke in the Naruto Abridged series before he went to Dragon Ball and Team 4 Star. So, I've more or less, I've known about him for a very long time, and I've been following his channel for very long, since a little bit after he started it. And I've loved a lot of he's done. I've loved his reviews on a lot of Dragon Ball Super episodes, and I've loved especially loved his What If videos. I think they're amazing. I think they're awesome. And I just really enjoy them. The What If Raditz turn good stuff was amazing. And okay, they're so good. And what I then saw him do, what if Gine went to Goku to Earth? And I loved it. Like, I didn't even need to watch the video. I was just like, no, I love that idea. I love the concept of it. There's so much to do there. I watched the video, and after I finished, I was like, wow, where is he gonna go with this? And I was like, what if he goes here goes here with this, or here, or there, or anywhere? And I had so many ideas that, fuck it, I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna do my own series of this. And that's why I was very hesitant to do this, because fuck it, I'm pretty much stealing this from Moscow X. I hate to say it like that, I really do. I hate saying the word stealing, but that's what it is. I'm copying this. Now, in order to fight against that, I just want to take the idea, this what if, because I like doing discussions. I think I've taken all the discussions I've ever done off my channel. I think there's a few where I've talked about some. I like the idea. I just don't really know where I'm going with my channel. But so here I am. I'm doing this. I'm doing this discussion. I'm doing this what if, because I just love it and I really want to do it. And I hope to anyone that is watching this that they don't feel like I am totally 100% stealing this. I really want to try to take this and then make it my complete own. So what I'm gonna do here for this episode, for the prologue part 0, is to kind of go over pre-Dragon Ball. Everything that takes place before Dragon Ball, which if you want to go by age, I believe Dragon Ball starts in the year 749. So everything that takes place before 749 pretty much starts where Gene was born. So that's kind of what I'm going with. I'm having to look up a lot of stuff that happens in Dragon Ball Z timeline age. I'm using the wiki page to kind of understand all this, which I guess might not be the best source, but it's one of the few sources I actually know. It is the only source I know to find age on stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm doing here. So let's start with Gine, because she's pretty much going to be the main focus on this entire series. Here's a question. When was she born? How old was she? I couldn't find this. Then again, in fairness, I wasn't looking that very hard. I was just using the wiki page. I probably could have typed in Google, how old was Gene born? But, it's what if. And, Moscow X does a lot of speculating on himself, so fuck it. I'm going to make something up. Or, no, I'm not going to really make it up. I'm going to do what I feel best for the story and what makes sense. So, for Gene, she was going to be born at the age 715, which means when Goku was born, she would be about 21 years old. And then when Dragon Ball, the actual series starts, she would be 34 years old. And Goku would be 13 or 14. He says 14, but based on the timeline I'm looking at, he was 13, but the anime subbed says 14, whatever. So that's what I'm going with. So why 21? I was very struggling with the age because no matter what, by the time I get to Dragon Ball and by the time I get to Dragon Ball Z, because I want to go everywhere with the story, Gine's going to get old. In fact, I've done some calculations and she gets very, very old looking at it. So yeah. So I decided on 21. That's a good age. The nice 2-1 in the United States, at least 21, you're an adult when you're 18, but 21 is I guess where you see true adulthood for some people, because that's when you start drinking alcohol. That's you finally got something big to do instead of just smoking at 18. But it's not like anyone even cares. I've seen 12-year-olds smoke, and oh god, that was so weird. So I just chose 21. So where the hell do I go? Where else do I go from here? What's going on with this? So the biggest character for this prologue is Bardock. What Bardock do you really go with here? Because you got Dragon Ball minus Bardock, and you have Bardock, the father of Goku, who are two completely different characters. Bardock in minus seemed like just kind of like a regular soldier who just really loved Gine, and that was very unusual for Saiyans. And then in father of Goku, Bardock was a dick. He was a murderous dude. He was a Saiyan. He was a cold Saiyan warrior, and the only people he cared about was his team. His team was pretty much everything. I'm not sure I would go that far, but that he loved his team. I wouldn't say love, but you get what I mean. So what to do? Do I go with Dragon Ball minus, or do I go with Dragon Ball Bardock, father of Goku? I'm going to take both and just kind of try my best to kind of smush them together and kind of turn them into like a Rubik's Cube to try to solve what's going on here. So where am I taking the story? Well, I'm pretty much going to take a majority of episode of Bardock episode. Oh my god, no. Bardock, father of Goku special, and add a bit of minus to it. So what does that mean? So essentially, a majority of Bardock's character is still what you knew, what everyone loved about Bardock. This hard ass who was really good at fighting. He fucking killed people, and he didn't care at all. Well, I enjoyed it a bit. He enjoyed the fight. And you have Gine, who is still this very low class Saiyan, or technically speaking, even compared to the low class Saiyan, she's low class. Hell, you could probably even say to the elites, she is lower than the low class, is how an elite Saiyan would view her. So Bardock's team would still be the same. You still have Fasha, Tagoma, whatever those two other guys' name was. I don't really remember them at all. Yeah, his team, and then you would have Gine, who probably would have joined when she was maybe 16 or so. And that's to say, the rest of the team were like fucking 30 or whatever. I'm pretty sure everyone else will still be pretty young themselves, because that's how I imagine Saiyans are. You take them while they're young and you send them out. They send babies out to conquer planets or to conquer weak planets when they're young. You'll send a squad to wipe everything else out. So I can see them taking Gine, who's probably 16, putting her in a squad with other young people, and sending them out to do missions. These low-class Saiyan warriors, who they probably don't expect much of. And that's kind of how you have the whole Bardock and Gine thing going. She would probably be there for 2 years or so at most, but it would eventually leave, because again, like in minus, Bardock kept saving her, and it was really showing that she doesn't really have, at least at first glance, that kind of Saiyan drive. She doesn't seem like a fighter, which is true, but not for how you think. At least how I see it. The way I look at it is, or at least what I'm changing about it is, Gine she's weak for a low-class Saiyan warrior, but not because she's a weak character. I think of it more as a mental thing. The way she looks at it is, well, she's a low-class warrior. She might be part of the Saiyan race, a warrior race, but she's still a low-class Saiyan warrior, which tends to get to her a bit more than everyone else. Bardock, on the other hand, doesn't really give a shit. Bardock is, while being a low-class Saiyan warrior, has surpassed even Bardock being lower class Saiyan has even surpassed mid class Saiyans. He's fucking gotten to the rank of elite Saiyan warriors, and depending on, I guess, whatever information you use, you could say he was almost as strong as King Vegeta, the king of Saiyan. So Bardock doesn't give a shit. But Gine, I kind of imagine that kind of had an effect on her. So there's something. So like in minus, their relationship develops. But then we transitioned over to the episode of, I keep doing that, to Bardock, the father of Goku, where kind of those events kind of happen pretty much the same. Bardock and his crew go on a mission. They destroy this entire race. But one of the guys of that race ends up giving Bardock the power of foresight to see the future. And then that starts happening. Bardock sees what's going to happen to the future of the Saiyan race, how they're pretty much going to be destroyed. And, he's knocked unconscious, like he tends to usually be, based on what everyone says. And once he's released from his healing pod, he is notified that his teammates have pretty much already left. So he heads off to join them because, he's not going to let them have all the fun. But halfway there, he stops, and he actually sees Gine holding little baby Kakarot in her arms, who she loves so much, because she's attached. Because she's, as far as as any saying goes, she's a very kind person, and which has rubbed off just a tiny little itty bitty bit on Bardock's end. So she's holding him because Goku's going to be sent away soon. He's going to be sent to the E-Arth, as it's called. And she's going to spend as much time as she can. And Bardock, is like, sure you want to get too attached right now? And of course, he's going to take out his little scouter and, boop, scan Goku's power level, which I believe was only like a 1 or a 2. Which he goes, oh, low class. What Gine will just pretty much counter with, well, you're low class too, but look where you are now. Look at your power. You're equal everyone else. He would tell her to, enjoy her time with him as can, and he leaves. He goes off on his mission, and pretty much the events take place the same way. He sees his teammates dead. He takes to go on his pen and tries to wipe the blood off his face, which gets soaked blood red, and they die. And he has a badass moment just tying the banana to his head, and then just unleashing hell upon those weak Frieza soldiers until Dabura shows up and kind of wrecks face. But of course, he survives. He survives Dabura's mouth blast and proceeds to leave, heads back to Planet Vegeta, and tries his best to tell everyone that things aren't going right. So originally, when Bardock was heading back to Planet Vegeta, he actually crossed paths with Kakarot's spaceship, having this little moment. But in this, Kakarot hasn't left yet. This is mainly because of Gine. She's really trying to hold off on sending Goku away. So Bardock would land back on Planet Vegeta, and he would start spouting that Frieza's going to destroy the entire planet race, which Planet Vegeta. He's going to destroy the entire race. And of course, no one believes him. Because it sounds like absolute nonsense. Ha ha ha. Really, Frieza needs us. Blah, 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 blah. You get it. However, Gine will believe him. Because she's Gine. And why the fuck is Bardock alive at this? It's not a funny practical joke, if I do say so myself, if Bardock is actually lying. Which he's not. He's telling the complete truth. So, yeah. So Bardock is going to take her by the fucking shoulders, her shoulders, and be like, you need to leave. You need to take Kakarot, and you need to go. Frieza will destroy all of us. All the Saiyans. Because he's afraid of us and what we can become. And Gine goes, what do you mean we? I can't, Goku, Kakarot might escape on the space pod, but if I go with him, they're going to pick up that power level. Because, in the minus, it was explained why Bardock and Gine didn't go with Goku. That's because Kakarot, their power combined, or hell, either one's of them powers, would be picked up on the Scouters. Goku's power by itself wouldn't actually be picked up. But Bardock looks at her and tells her that she does not need to worry about that. He will handle it. And before he leaves her to go to that little ledge where he contemplates what he's going to do, he hands her his blood-soaked bandana. Why? So she has something to remember him by. just in case things go wrong. Because, let's be honest, Bardock was a little full of himself when he went to fight Frieza. Let's be honest. So he would have handed her the bandana, she would have gone off to a space pod and hoped she would believe in Bardock and that what he was saying was right. She believes in him. So Bardock flies off into space, tanking hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of Frieza's soldiers as he just shouts Frieza's name, shouting it at the top of his lungs. Frieza! I can't do it. I'm not going to try it. That's what he's going to do. And every Frieza Force member is going to be focused on this one low-class Saiyan warrior who dares to essentially challenge Frieza. And he pretty much gives the same speech that he did in the movie, or not in the movie, the special. And Gine kind of flies away, but she's not that far, as far away as Kakarot was, so she can actually kind of see most of this go down. But however, none of the Frieza soldiers are actually going to see her, because again, they're focused on this one guy, which I can say is a bit much, but this one guy just barreled through hundreds of them. So yeah, he deserves a bit of attention. He deserves a bit of attention. Just gonna say that. And then Frieza holds up the one finger and kaboom. Kills everyone. And it's during Bardock's final moments that he sees this vision of the future. And what he sees hope. Or not hope, he sees revenge. That's what he sees. The Saiyan race will be avenged. And what he sees in particular, I don't know. Because I don't know where this shit's gonna go. But he knows it will be vengeance. He sees. Yes. He sees vengeance. And Gine sees this happen as not only is Planet Vegeta killed, but Bardock, well, that's obvious. The entire Saiyan race, as far as she knows it, dead. I mean, at most she probably believes Raditz is still alive since he would not have been on the planet at the time, but who knows if he'll still be alive after long. And they continue to drift to the Earth. Until however long it takes to reach the planet, they arrive. I don't know if it's a year, I don't know if it's 2 years, 3 years, or I don't know. I really don't. All I know is they eventually land on the planet of Earth. And as they crash land on the planet, there is going to be an elderly man of Gohan just taking his walk. Because he doesn't really have much else to do in the mountains. Honestly, fuck, if you want to be secluded, it was his choice. I guess I guess he likes solitary for a bit, whatever. He would head to this. He doesn't even know what he sees. He just sees like this little spherical ball that's starting to open, and he's like, "What is this?" And as he approaches, he sees Gine. I'm fucking up her name now. He sees Gine exit the pod with little baby Kakarot, who is now just kind of crying. Well, I guess wailing. Fuck. He's making a lot of noise right now. And she sees Grandpa Gohan. And is that scared? Why? Because this guy's an old man. And while Gine might not be that strong, she's still Saiyan. And she still survived 10 times Earth gravity, so she's strong. She is strong. Well, I mean, not compared to a Saiyan, but compared to an Earthling, she's fine. All right, she's a little hesitant. She's a little wary, Gohan, but she's not that worried. However, again, the destruction of her planet, Bardock, and everyone else, still hits pretty hard. But Gohan would approach her. He goes, "Well, my young lady, are you and your child okay? What's going on? What is that pod?" And Gine would be a little hesitant to tell him any information about herself, at least for a while. But Grandpa Gohan, being the kind-hearted person he is, would not let know for an answer. He would beg for them to come back to his little hut, not little hut, this little place, and feed them, help them out a bit. And Gine would definitely accept, not only for herself, but for Kakarot, because, baby needs to eat. And a small kind of relationship would kind of form over time. Gine would not be too quick to just eat and leave. She actually stays around because she needs to know a little bit more about the Earth. And this old man seems like he would know the thing to do. And obviously, there would be introductions. She would learn his name is Gohan. He would learn her name is Gine, and that the baby's name is Kakarot. And then, time was going to pass. Basically about nearly 10 years or so passes between when they land and when Dragon Ball actually starts. So there's a lot that can take place in 10 years. So what does take place? Well, for one is the case of Kakarot's name. Because really, I don't want to keep calling him Kakarot because, Mosco's doing that. And I'm trying not to steal that as well. I really want to try to take this into some other direction. So I was really trying to think to myself, all right, how can I still make his name Goku? How can I fit that in? And while I was doing some research, it kind of became a little harder because while Gine is very kind-hearted, she was still a Saiyan, and she was still like, yeah, Saiyans, for the most part. So I wouldn't really see her just throwing away Kakarot's heritage, or just kind of forgoing his Saiyanness. Nah, she still wants that. However, they are technically speaking in hiding. Because Frieza, as Bardock told Gine, Frieza kind of fears the Saiyans. Even though Frieza will never admit that. Let's skip that right there. Frieza will never admit that. But Frieza does fear the Saiyans. So, yeah, sure, the Earth is very far away, but what if Frieza eventually does come here? If Frieza knows Saiyans are still alive, well, Frieza probably just gonna blow up the planet, just to be sure this time. So Gine decides it probably would be best to maybe change his name from a very obvious Saiyan name to something that doesn't sound very Saiyan-like. Because let's be honest, Kakarot is a very Saiyan name when you look at all the other Saiyan names. However, I feel like Gine would not change her name just because Gine doesn't feel is still, while being still Saiyan name, doesn't feel as Saiyan name as everything else. So that's total bullshit, but fuck it, that's what I'm going with. I'm sorry. Moscow S will do a very accurate what if on this. I will not. And I probably should have said it to begin with, but I'm saying it now. So yeah, for anyone still watching, that's what you know. So yes, he's gonna be called Goku because while they're probably thinking of names, Grandpa Gohan's gonna be like, "What about Goku?" And then Goku's gonna laugh at that because he likes that name. Woo! And his name is Goku now. His name is Goku now. That's what's gonna happen. Now, what happened when he was a kid? Other events. Goku being bonked on the head. I don't think that's gonna happen at all. Mainly because, one, when it happened with Grandpa Gohan, there was really no way for him to catch Goku. He fell out, and well, that was that. Gine, on the other hand, if a situation similar to that happened, yeah, Gine wasn't going to let Goku fall. She was probably going to catch him like halfway, and that bonk on the head is not going to happen. So yeah, no bonk on the head. That's not just the event doesn't happen, but because of Goku and Gine, yeah, Goku and Gine, Gohan and Gine, I feel like his nature will be lighthearted. However, I do feel like with Dragon Ball Minus, kind of retcons. Well, if we see Dragon Ball Minus as a canon version of the story, kind of retcons Goku's bump on the head a bit because it would more point to him being a more kind-hearted person to begin with. So I'm kind of going with that. Going with Goku. Oh my god, so many names. Goku would already be kind of a kind-hearted person, so that kind of unruly child thing that Master Roshi told Goku about wouldn't really be a thing. So yeah, Goku's just a kind-hearted person. So let's go ahead and skip. This went on longer than I thought. I was hoping to be like, all right, it's going to be 10 minutes long. I'm going to explain everything and we're going to be done. Nah, this is really long. I'm sorry about that. I'm very sorry. So, what kind of happens within the 10 years start Dragon Ball other than Goku's being changed? Well, for one, the Great Apes. So, Gene would learn very quickly learn that, well, the Earth what she now knows as called E-Earth, not the E-Arth, has about 12 full moons a year. Seeing as how we can assume that Earth, Dragon Ball's Earth, is like our Earth, there's going to be about 12 full moons a year. And if they're going to spend the rest of their lives on this planet, they're really going to need to worry about the moon. Because, well, while Gine was on one hand okay with changing Goku's name, cutting off a Saiyan tail, that's to them that's just wrong to a Saiyan. It's like chopping off your own arm. Why? She's not gonna let that happen. So she will eventually open up to Gohan a little bit. She'd probably at most tell them that that she is a Saiyan, she is part of a warrior race, and that they tend to grow into giant monkey people when there's a full moon and when they look at the full moon. I really don't see her telling Gohan about the whole, our race goes to planets and conquers them and then sells them. She's not going to say that because that's probably not going to go over well. Gohan seems like a very nice person, but she's going to keep that to herself because this is their new plan now. She didn't want any problems. All right. So she's going to warn Gohan that Goku should never, ever, under any circumstance, go out at night and see a full moon. And I feel like this would happen, especially with Gohan knowing. Because if you look at it in Dragon Ball Z, Goku, when Goku, at the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, when Goku went to his friends, they asked him, does Gohan ever transformed or anything? Has he ever become like a Gohan man? And Goku really not really knowing about this, always said, well, we kind of always went to sleep early, so never out at night. And that's pretty much going to be the situation here. They never really would go out at night, especially on a full moon. So I don't feel like Goku would ever transform into a great ape. However, with that being said, Gine, knowing that if Goku or her transforms into a great ape, well, bad shit's going to happen. Because being low-class warriors, they're going to go wild. They're going to destroy a lot of shit. So she needs to really worry about that. So what we know from Bardock episode, the Father Goku special, and from the Dragon Ball series is that Goku and the low-class Saiyan warriors never really knew what was happening when they were giant apes. In the Father Goku special, we knew they had some vague ideas, and Bardock actually seemed to know what he was doing the entire time. However, they're still uncontrollable. Now, what I was hoping to find is in this Dragon Ball Z tabletop RPG I was hoping to find a ruling that I've heard about, which is not in that game, because it was in a revision that someone did that essentially says low-class Saiyan warriors aren't really able to control themselves as giant apes, where on the other hand, elite warriors like Vegeta actually are able to completely control themselves. They don't really go mad. So I guess that's in the revision, which I'm still going to use that. Low-class Saiyan warriors aren't able to control themselves as a great ape. Gine can't control herself as a great ape. That doesn't mean she can't try and that she can't train. So I feel like at some points during these 10 years, she would go deep into the woods, to the desert, to the middle of the fucking ocean, and essentially train herself to eventually control her great ape transformation. I'm not sure if you can necessarily stop the transformation in and of itself when looking at the full moon and the bus waves, but definitely controlling herself as a great ape, as a precaution, just in case kind of thing, because she never knows if Goku might sneak out one day and transform to a great ape, because even though he isn't necessarily strong yet, as a great ape, his power fucking skyrockets, and she's gonna need as much power as she can to stop him. So yeah, I feel like she would learn to control herself within a span of 10 years. I feel like this is completely possible. What else is gonna happen? Well, for one, Goku is going to get much stronger. He's going to be much stronger than he was at the start of Dragon Ball. Why? Well, one, Grandpa Gohan never died. And two, well, Gine's there. And Gine, even though she is not like the, I would say, as experienced of a fighter as Gohan is, she has power to match that. If we were to go by power level, I easily say Gine's at least a 500. Well, why? Well, because if you look at it, Goku at a power level of 300. Now, I guess I could probably say it was lower, but I'm just going to go with 500 as a base, kind of, even it out. Goku at a power level of 300, while he was able to walk on King Kai's planet, did struggle at first. Now, in fairness, that was entirely because of his weighted clothing, but Gene lived for 21 years on Planet Vegeta and was fully accustomed to doing any daily activity at 10 times Earth's gravity. So I feel like that would definitely put her up there in terms of power. So I'm just gonna put that out there. So Goku would be a lot stronger, and not only would he be much stronger, he would actually know a little bit about energy control. He would actually be able to shoot out a energy blast. Now I'm not talking about like an energy like wave, like a continuous stream of energy, but like, a little pew kind of energy blast. And he would even know how to fly, because all Saiyans seem to have the innate ability to fly. The only reason Goku never did is because he wasn't really born. Whatever. Goku would know how to fly, but again, Dragon Ball. However, being said, I do not feel like Gohan would ever show Goku how to do the Kamehameha just yet, because he wants Goku to mature just a little bit more before he teaches him such a technique. A technique that could, I don't know, blow up the moon. Doesn't want to show him that just yet. Another thing is, I don't think Gene would actually tell Goku he's Saiyan, mainly because she wants him to feel like this is his complete home. Goku is an Earthling, essentially. This is kind of like what I'm doing with Superman. Essentially, Superman was born on Krypton, but he was sent to Earth. And Superman sees himself as an Earthling, because that's where he was raised, and that's how Gene will kind of look at this. Goku, while being a Saiyan, was raised on Earth, and she doesn't want him to feel alienated at all. And just two more quick things. I feel like I'm going to end this, because this went on way longer than I meant it to. Goku would actually know a little bit about the Master Roshi and the Ox King, just because, Gohan would eventually have told him about this stuff. And two, Goku would be able to tell the difference between a boy and a girl. Girls don't have butts on their chests. Goku knows that. He's a little, I'm going to say a little smarter. All right, he has a little bit more manners, he's a little smarter, because he wasn't living by himself for years. He had constant interactions with people. So, that's going to be a thing. And that is where I'm going to end this. That went on way longer than I meant it to. So, yeah. I'm very sorry for this went on longer than I expected it to. I hope you guys did enjoy this, that it was at least halfway decent. Not really... Talking is not my strong point. I will say that. It is not. And coming up with stuff is not my strong point either, even though I do want to try to be a writer, which is another reason why I want to do this, because I can actually be a little better with storytelling, even though I did a horrible job this part, I believe. So, yeah. So, where does this leave off? Where do we leave this prologue, this very long prologue off on? Well, Jine's alive, she's with Goku, she's with Gohan, and Goku's much stronger. Gohan would be able to show Goku much more training early on, for much longer periods of time, and he would have even shown Gene some moves, some martial arts, because I imagine, really, for the most part, all Saiyans are more of like brawlers, at least until a certain point. I don't really see Vegeta when he arrives as a brawler. Then again, that's because he had the years of experience, which Gene doesn't really have, since she stopped fighting a very long time ago. But I feel like Gohan would teach her martial arts. In fact, he would be very insistent about teaching her, because, Gohan wants her to learn. Not Gohan, god damn it. Because Goku also wants her to learn. Goku wants her to be a part of this as well, because he loves her and whatnot. So, okay, yeah. All right, I'm done here. That's pretty much everything I wanted to say for this part, this prologue. And we will get on to part 1 next week. Hopefully I'll be able to keep a weekly schedule up of 1 a week. And I'm going to try to take this saga by saga. So next week we will do the Pilaf saga, the first 13, 14 episodes of Dragon Ball. I'm going to cover that next week, and how Gene being here, Goku being able to fly, being able to shoot energy blasts, being much stronger affects everything in the long run. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys didn't even bother watching this entire thing. And if you did, I really do appreciate it. And I guess if this does even a minuscule, as long as I get at least one view on this, I will do official part 1 next week. Thank you all for being here. You have a good day, night, / whatever, and peace out.